The latest Amazon's Fallout series, which adapts the video game action RPG series of the same name, in which you explore the apocalyptic wasteland after nuclear war, is out. And, well, thankfully, the series was success and made a lot of gamers return to the video games. I personally really enjoyed it, except some, I would say, lore issues in the last episode. I think it was a blast. I almost binge-watched it in one go in 2 days, and it was really great. But what if you don't want to look at the screen after watching the series, but would you like to keep exploring the mysterious worlds filled with ghouls, supermutants, or retrofuturistic electronics? If that's the case, board games have your back, and below are pretty much all the options currently available. Some games might be harder to come by, so it's possible to shop around in second-hand stores. So let's start with Fallout the board game, which is, shall we say, a typical modern tabletop take on a video game. Each player has a figure, a randomly drawn map in front of you that you gradually explore, fighting monsters with dice and reading each other's stories. But it's the story component of the game, along with RPG elements of the special system, that make it very interesting as you follow various little quests across Wasteland and many cards from a blooted encounter deck. And it just unfortunately drags a lot of its core, and the victory conditions are set up rather oddly. That's why I strongly recommend you getting the Atomic Bonds expansion as well, which allows you to play all the scenarios cooperatively, where the game makes a lot of more sense. Also, the new California expansion will then serve you with even more new scenarios and systems to play with. Fallout Shelter, the board game. As the name suggests, the Fallout Shelter, the board game, adapts primarily mobile offshoot of the video game franchise, and in this case, it's practically a one-to-one adaptation. So even on the tabletop, you will gradually build your underground bunker. That means you will be adding room cars to the central elevator, which then you will send your world builders to, and whether will perform all sorts of activities to keep the world running and help to victory. And now we go to the more of wargaming spectra of the tabletop, and with the Fallout Wasteland Warfare, we're getting into the more challenging waters of the figurative gaming. In this case, it's a skirmish game where you would look in vain for the fields of game map or the board as you know in the classical board games. The movement of your figures is free, is with using tape measures, with some just distances for movement. It's just basically a small skirmish war game, but marketed more like board game to be, more open to the mainstream audience, which is, I think, the aim of the company since it's a Fallout IP on it. So you are working with a 3D terrain, and on top of that, this game is also specific that you can play against each other in exciting duels, as well as cooperatively or even solo, either in one of the off games or in the longer campaign, which is also great. So it's basically for everyone. And if you happen to fall in this board game, get ready for an endless stream of expansions that let you add all sorts of familiar factions, heroes, monsters, or iconic buildings, slots, and so on to your game. Fallout Factions, Nuka-World, will be the latest addition to the Fallout family tabletop games. I say will be, because pre-orders are currently only running and the game will be released somewhere in mid-July this year. Nuka-World is systematically based on the Wasteland Warfare, but it simplifies to make it even more accessible. Plus, it's advertised as it will be a faster game, so we will finish quickly. We are still not moving into the realm of the regular board games. It's still sort of mixed between board game and war game. True, the rules are only 80 pages long, and you will have to cut the pieces of the board You will need to cut the pieces from the terrain from the board and glue them together first. However, the terrain in the starter pack consists of buildings made from the cardboard, which makes the game cheaper and doesn't lose any of the functionality that works with the 3D environment. And this is case too that the longer term support is envisaged, like with Wasteland Warfare, so new factions, for example, will be added, and if you already have the Wasteland Warfare, don't worry, the features will be compatible. Now, let's take from the board games to the RPGs, because there is also Fallout the role-playing game that is the only existing representative of the Fallout brand on the field of tabletop RPGs. So if you don't want to be bound by the board game mantle and create your own arbitrary adventure in World of Fallout, well, this is your path. The RPG run on the tried and tested 2D20 system and come with basic rules, starter set for complete newcomers, help cards, dice, and various pre-made adventures. And if you would just like to try the game out, well, you can use the quick rules which are available for free. Play around, and if it's something for you, and you should invest for the full product. It's free start. You can have nothing to lose, basically. And at the end, there is the Magic the Gathering, the Universes Beyond Fallout. Finally, this is and just a little bonus. In the Universes Beyond Fallout, it's of course not a game of its own, but it's another of the many crossovers of the collectible card game Magic the Gathering. It plays by the standard Magic rules, but the original artwork and gameplay mechanics are tailored for the post-apocalyptic theme. So, hopefully, this was the full list of Fallout tabletop games which are available. And that's it. If you want to try tabletop Fallout, this is the way to go. And this was Pot and Roar, and hopefully see you on the next one.